Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ujola for Mindset Transformation Africa. And in today's episode, I want to talk about something about starting, right? Especially starting small. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. You are never too weak to start. You are only too proud to start small. I want that to prick you a little bit. You are never too weak to start. You are only too proud to start small. See, that is what I want us to think about. Let's start here. How many times have you told yourself, I'm just not strong enough yet, or I will start when I'm ready? That sounds logical, but it is not. It is not weakness holding most people back. It is pride disguised as preparation. Weakness says, I need help. Pride says, I'll figure it out when I'm strong enough. And that second statement sounds noble on the outside, on the surface, but it is just fear that is dressed in confidence. You are not too weak to start. You just don't like how small you will look when you do. You don't like being a beginner. You don't like being a student. You don't like asking for help. You don't like failing where others can see it. So you stay still and you call it waiting for the right time. No, the truth is nobody's first step looks like much, but small doesn't mean insignificant. It means humble enough to begin. That humility is where transformation begins. See, pride doesn't just make you look stronger than you are. It keeps you weaker than you could be. It convinces you that small steps are beneath you. It says things like, if I can't do it big, I won't do it at all. That mindset silently robs people of progress every day. Think about it. How many dreams have been buried under the sentence, I will start when I have more time, more money, or more energy? The truth is, if you won't start small, you won't start at all, because there is nothing like a big start. Everything monumental begins as something microscopic. Everything extraordinary ordinary begins in embarrassment sometimes. And everything that lasts begins as something someone could have mugged. See, pride kills more dreams than fear ever could, because fear at least admits the danger, but pride denies danger exists at all. Fear says, what if I fail? Pride says, I cannot fail. I'm better than this. And once you say that, you've stopped learning, because you've stopped learning before you even started. Do you understand me? Starting small is not weakness. It is wisdom, okay? It is the art of being willing to look foolish in the service of growth. It is the understanding that greatness is simply smallness practiced every single day. You see, small starts gives you space to fail quietly, to learn quickly, and to adjust easily. They remove the weight of perfection and replace it with progress. When you start small, you create motion. And motion is where momentum comes from, not confidence, not certainty, not inspiration, just movement, just motion. Tiny, awkward, unglamorous motion. You might start reading for 5 minutes a day. You might do one push-up here and there. You might save a single dollar or 100 naira. You might make one phone call. None of that feels heroic in the moment, but it is how transformation sneaks into you. Because success doesn't usually knock. It creeps in quietly through consistent, simple action. See, the key is not the size of your start. It is the spirit behind it. When you show your mind that you are serious, it begins to follow your lead. But when you keep postponing small beginnings, your mind learns that hesitation is your habit. There is a silent war, let me just say this, going on in most of us between pride and progress. Pride says, I should be further by now. Progress says, I can still start right now. Pride focuses on appearances. Progress focuses on advancement. Pride fears looking foolish. Progress embraces the mess. Pride wants applause. Progress wants results. So every single day you wake up, you are either feeding your pride or your progress. And whichever you feed grows. If, for example, you've been feeling stuck lately, it is not a lack of strength. I don't believe it. It is that pride I think it's that your pride has been louder than your willingness. You've been overvaluing how it looks and undervaluing how it feels to start. See, progress is humble, it is quiet, it is slow, it is often invisible for a while, but that is why it's so powerful. It is not performing for approval, it is preparing for transformation. Let's talk a little bit about neuroscience as I go. Your brain loves patterns, okay? It resists dramatic change because it wants stability. It is designed to conserve energy. So, when you attempt big leaps, your mind sees danger, not growth. That is why big goals often trigger procrastination. But small actions, they slip past your brain's resistance. They are manageable, they are doable, they are safe. And once you do something consistently, no matter how small, your brain builds confidence through familiarity. Each small win becomes evidence that you can do more. And that evidence starts changing your identity from I want to I am. You are not too weak to start. You just haven't given your brain the permission to feel safe starting small. So, if you want to rewire your life, start rewiring your self-image, okay? Don't tell yourself you will become disciplined. No, just act like a disciplined person for 5 minutes today. Don't tell yourself you will become confident. No, just do one thing your fear told you not to do. It is those micro moments that reprogram the subconscious. Start small, all right? Especially when you feel it is too big. Starting small doesn't mean staying small. It's simply a way to earn your growth honestly. You don't start a fire by throwing a log in a pit. You start with a spark. You don't lift 200 pounds or 200 whatever kg on day one. You start by lifting what doesn't scare you. You don't build a strong mind overnight. You train it through tiny, consistent acts of courage and honesty every single day. Those small moments compound over time. One day, the small thing that once took effort becomes second nature to you. The small act that once required motivation now runs on rhythm. But here's the twist, okay? When that happens, you will look back and realize something profound. The smallness you once despised was never weakness. It was your training ground. It was teaching you humility, discipline, patience, and progress. The real ingredient of greatness are humility, discipline, patience, and progress. And process. Do you understand me? Here's a question that I want you to ask yourself today. What have you been delaying because it feels too small to matter? What have you been delaying because it feels too small to matter? Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect business idea instead of just selling one small thing. Maybe you've been waiting for the right time to get fit instead of going for a 10-minute walk. Maybe you've been waiting for a big opportunity instead of showing up where you already are with excellence. Here's the truth. Small doesn't look impressive, but it is replaceable. It is irreplaceable. Every big achievement is built on layers of invisible small actions. You don't see the roots of a tree, but they are the reason it stands tall. And in life, those roots are your small starts. So, take the mirror test. Not to judge how far you are, but to ask, what am I too proud to begin again? What am I too proud to begin again? That is where your growth is hiding. Pride loves to disguise itself as wisdom sometimes. It whispers to you, you're just waiting for clarity. You're waiting for God to talk to you. But it is really, what it's really saying is this. You're afraid. You're afraid of being seen as a small person. There is no clarity that can explain action, that can replace action. Okay? Clarity comes after you move, not before you move. It comes after you move. You learn best while doing, not while deciding. And here's something that stings. When you delay out of pride, you are actually delaying your strength. Because confidence doesn't come from preparation alone. It comes from participation. It comes from participation. If you wait to be confident before you start, you will never start. But if you start small, you will build confidence organically through evidence, not imagination, but through evidence. It is not that the confident have fewer fears, they just have more repetitions. Do you understand me? They just have more repetitions. See, if you've been saying, I will start when I'm ready, here's your permission to stop waiting. You don't get ready before you start. You get ready by starting. Break today. Start that thing that looks beneath you today, because nothing